You're welcome to the Pioneer STEM Show. My name is Choma Umolaye, and thank you for keeping a date with us. With me, as always, is
David Adeosun.
Absolutely. Hi, David. How has it been?
Very well, very well.
Any new tech?
Yes. So the
Oh,
rise
okay.
of variants of ChatGPT has been quite interesting to see. To see how different big companies are reacting to how OpenAI came and opened a new front in terms of tech. And now we have like different alternatives to chatbots. So there's Gemini, there's different chatbots that have different strengths. We even have Instagram. That's Meta integrating chatbots too.
I think, yes, Meta and across all the platforms.
Yes. So it's beautiful to see.
So do you think the evolution of generative AI has made people more productive and more creative?
Yes. Productive, I think so. Creative, no. Productive in the sense that what you would spend minutes or maybe hours, depending on the workload, looking for online, you could get in a prompt. In terms of productivity, I don't. In terms of creativity, I beg your pardon, I don't think so, because now we have people that could easily use AI for alternate. Exactly. Instead of going through the creative process, coding now is much easier. You can be the lazy coder. Just go on ChatGPT. Depending on what you're working on, there are tiers to this. So yes, creative has definitely made people to be more rely more
on technology. So talking about copying and pasting, one of our guests, we actually have two guests on today's show. His innovation is about checking plagiarism. So he's built an app that helps to check plagiarism. And the second guest?
Yes, incredibly talented student. And the other is working on a Telegram bot. He has worked on a Telegram bot that checks out and looks out for cyberbullying. And I believe will send you 3 checks, 3 warnings before taking you out. So I want to see how that works. Yes. They would explain today to us.
I mean, cyberbullying is a trend. It is so trending that I don't know these guys, whether they have fake accounts, and some of them are actually real people with human blood, with brains, in their head, and I don't know how they come about this. So it will be very interesting to see how the young man has built this and how he's integrating it. And of course, finally, how valuable it will be out there.
Yes.
This is still the Pioneer STEM Show, and when we return, we'll have our guests one after the other.
Welcome to the Pioneer STEM Show. We have SAHEED in the building. SAHEED, what idea have you brought to us today?
Okay, so what I brought today is a Telegram anti-cyberbullying bot. We all know what cyberbullying is. With the world of social media now, a faceless troll could just attack you on social media. You could post something random, and a faceless troll could just attack you, say something bad about you, and that could affect your mental health. I mean, we're all humans. Even if someone says something to you on social media, the person could actually not be right. But as a human being, you could just take it into heart, which is really unnecessary. So I use Telegram a lot, and I'm in some Telegram groups where I interact with people I don't even know before. So, but I noticed that sometimes you just get insults. You could just post your thoughts on some Telegram groups, and you could get insulted over just an harmless post. So I'm a machine learning engineer. I decided to just find a way to solve that problem I was facing. So let me explain how the Telegram bot works before I explain the process behind building it. Okay. So the way it works is an admin who owns a group chat just adds it to the group chat. And it gives the bot admin functions so you can remove members from the group chat. So every message sent to that group chat, the bot checks it out and labels it as cyberbullying or not. So if it's a cyberbullying related message, like if the bot flags it as cyberbullying, it warns the person who sent the message that what you sent is cyberbullying. You have 3 attempts, like 3 more warnings. If you do this 2 more times, you will get removed out of the group chat. So if the person does it again, if that same user does it again, it gives him another warning. If it does it for the final time, the person will be banned from the group chat for 3 days. So with that, it could help regulate group chats. For For example, when you know that if you send something and if it's a group chat that is very important to you, for example, if your class group chat is hosted on Telegram, you're very careful in sending message. You're actually being banned from sending message on your class group chat for 3 days. So that's how the Telegram bot works currently.
Amazing. So this is very personal to you.
Yes.
And it's like an integration of machine learning and
Yes.
cybersecurity.
Yes.
So what do you think big firms and big tech companies could do with an idea like this? What are the possibilities from this?
So I think big firms, like if there was big firms can do that to regulate conversations. Because I have friends who are scared of opening Twitter. For example, they'll be like, oh, that Twitter, they will throw you there. If you make mistake on Twitter, they will throw you. Like me, for example, I'm always skeptical about making a post on Twitter as compared to my Facebook, because I know on Twitter, most likely they are like is more known for stuffs like that.
Slandering people.
Yes. So I think if big firms could introduce AI, like before making a post or replying to a post, if big firms could introduce like AI checkers that will check whatever post someone is making on platforms and will flag it that this could be cyberbullying or including other aspects of life like racism. Like this is a racist post, be careful. I think that will regulate conversations in the public space a whole lot.
Okay, walk me through the process of building this kind of bots.
Yeah. Okay, so basically I'm a Python developer, anything Python. And I've also worked on a lot of machine learning projects, machine learning competitions, anything machine learning. I do that a lot. So I just calmed down and thought that let me just try to work on this problem. So first of all, I had to get data. So if you don't know what machine learning is basically trying to teach machines to learn. That's the simple explanation of machine learning. And machine learning works on data. So before you teach someone to learn something, you have to have data on that thing. So it's on the data that you have. You now give the machine that, you now give the computer that, oh, this data, identify patterns in this data and use it to make decisions. So I had to get data on cyberbullying. So I had to go on site. There are open source sites. Open source means something that is available freely for everyone. So, and I had to check platforms that had data on cyberbullying. So where I got data I used from was Kaggle. Kaggle is like a popular house for data scientists. So I got data on cyberbullying from Kaggle, and I built a machine learning model on it. So building a model is not enough. I need to integrate it to a platform where it's actually useful. So what the way the model works is you give it a statement. The model flags it as, is this statement cyberbullying related? If it flags it as cyberbullying related or not. So I now integrated it into Telegram, actually. So I had to learn a lot on the Telegram API. Telegram has an API. That's one thing I'll give kudos to Telegram as compared to other social media platforms. They actually have an API that can build stuffs on very easily. It's very easy to build on Telegram. It's allowed. Like Telegram is, kudos to Telegram for that. So I had to build a software that uses the machine learning app behind it. And the reason why I did that is a lot of projects people do actually. Imagine building a project and it just ends up in your laptop. But I actually wanted to build something that real world people will use, that will be useful to the average person. So that was what made me do that. And currently, I have group chats. Like when I made the bot, I posted it on my LinkedIn and co. So I don't know who are really using it. And I think a failure on my part is I didn't try to track the amount of group chats. Maybe I'll add that now. I'm just thinking of it. I'll add that now. I didn't try to track the amount of group chats the bot is in. But currently, I use it in group chat with my friends. Like there are some group chats I manage on Telegram that I'm admin of. I use it and it works regularly. Some people, they will be removed from group chat. They will not be texting me behind that, boo, I beg, add me. And I'll just be like, serve your 3 days ban and you'll be added after that.
Can you explain the process of a bot being trained? Because you made mention of a data set that's being used, that's open source. Yes. Can you explain how the bot is able to do that, the intricacies of that? How does it work?
Okay. So the way it works is the bot has a model behind it. So I trained the model separately. I could have trained the model for any other purpose. I trained the model separately. The model is like a separate entity living somewhere on its own. If you give the model a statement, the model is like a box that if you give it a statement, it brings out an output. Is this cyberbullying related? Yes. It could also bring out, if it's not cyberbullying related, you answer no. That was how the model is. So the bot, you could build a Telegram bot to do almost anything. So a Telegram bot that could act as a game and go. So what the Telegram bot does is any message sent to a group chat, Telegram bot has been added to a group chat as an admin. So when a message comes into the group chat, Telegram bot picks up the message, picks up the user who sent that message in. So it now calls the model and puts the statement in. So it now asks the model that, is this a cyberbullying related statement? If it says yes, that means the bot has to flag the person who sent the message.
I'm interested to know if this is if this works for Nigerian group chats. Here's what I mean. So you use the database, I believe is international.
Yes.
And their language for cyberbullying should be different from ours. I don't think it's be able to understand with the Chris. You understand what I mean? So how will you incorporate this in future projects, or is it already incorporated?
Okay, no, currently it's not incorporated. Dataset I used is mostly American, UK, English.
Do we even have Nigerian database?
We don't have. That's like a setback. If you are trying to build anything machine learning in Nigeria, built for Nigerians, you almost face this setback. You face this setback almost always because there is no standard data available for Nigerians. I think that's one thing Nigerians should actually work towards. Our government, we should make sure we have data available online. If Google search anything for US, like almost anything, you actually find serious data available. But for Nigerian basis, there are very limited data available. So I know there are some societies that are trying to, data science Nigeria, they are trying to like put Nigerian data out there. But I feel like we have to do a lot more. So as regards the bot, it works on English alone. But I know Nigerian conversation is not English majorly.
Bullying is sweeter when it's in
Pidgin. Yeah,
Yoruba
Pidgin, mix Yoruba. So the bot currently doesn't work. It doesn't cover that currently. And it's actually a plan I have in my mind. And maybe at some point, I'll try to calm down and get data for Nigerians. So if it's a solution, if I can get data for Nigerians, this solution will be very big because it caters for Nigerians well. And also, the data could also be used to do other stuff for Nigerians.
Amazing. Yes, that is so insightful. Yes. Such a pleasure to have you, yes, SAHEED. I've learned so much, and I am so inspired, by your story. And I can't wait to see how this gets to be in the next couple of years. Thank you for being on the Pioneer STEM Show. You're still watching the Pioneer STEM Show. We'll be right back.
You're still on to the Pioneer STEM Show, and like we promised, we have two guests. The second guest on the Pioneer STEM Show today is Kowiyu Adelaja. All right, I need to clap for myself.
Nice
and of course, clapping for you and thanking you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me too. Let me clap for you back.
All right, so tell us about yourself, what you stand for. The way I met Kowiyu was also through Instagram, right? Instagram, I don't know, maybe LinkedIn or something.
No,
it was majorly Instagram. And you told me that you're a student of Unilag and you belong to this organization, IEEE, but drilling down to the center in Unilag is what?
SciCon.
Yeah, so SciCon stands for, it's just SciCon, or is an acronym or just a nickname?
Okay, so SciCon is a student organization that stemmed from IEEE Unilag.
Okay.
So IEEE is like the organization for electrical and electronics engineering students.
That's it.
Though it covers like computer science students as well, any engineering field, even biomedical engineering. So the student body IEEE Unilag thought about having like another student organization that will be a standalone body, which is SciCon, just to celebrate engineering excellence.
Awesome.
So we decided that what can symbolize like engineering excellence, and after thinking for a while, we decided that silicon is actually like a symbol for engineering excellence, because you won't have like our digital devices or whatever we have now in the digital world without silicon. Because semiconductors are the materials that actually power like your electronics.
Yeah.
And that's why we have like miniature electronics.
Oh wow.
So from there we said, silicon, can we just remove the SI and the con?
Okay.
So we have like SciCon.
SciCon, awesome. So let's rewind back. So introduce yourself properly and tell us about yourself and, of course, your project.
Okay, so my name is Abdul Kawiyu Olamilekon Adelaja. I'm the president of SciCon and former president of IEEE Unilag.
Wow. You wear too many hats.
So I'm a final year student of the University of Lagos.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much, ma. That's pretty much about me. And aside that, I'm also a software engineer and I dabble into hardware also, but currently I'm majoring in software engineering. So I kind of like have like skills in C++, Python, and I do more of like backend these days.
When you say you do more, I expect that you're still a student. Are you already working and earning money? You don't want to say that.
Yes.
Like, oh, you see, that's the advantage of picking these things early and not waiting for after school. So whether it's collaboratively or doing it as a project, you can always make money when you solve problems. That's the backbone.
Yes, exactly. I started getting paid like around like my year 2. Like in my second year.
Wow.
Okay, but that was like for writing codes for my friends. So I figured out that okay, people wanted to pay me to write programs for them. Like okay, this thing is quite serious because I started doing like my junior secondary school.
I was going to ask, how did you start? That was when I said your journey, right? So junior secondary school, we were at home on YouTube, or you went to a particular lesson. You know, how did you start learning?
Okay, it's like it started from these Symbian phones. So we had Symbian phones then.
Nokia.
So so those Symbian phones had like games like all these like football games.
Yeah.
And whenever those games would load, you would see this Java icon on the games.
True that. Come to think of it, yes.
So then, as someone that was curious there. Maybe my curiosity has reduced now, though.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what's this Java thing that's always showing up whenever we try to open these games? And then I figured out that Java is a programming language. I was like, okay, how can I learn Java? Like, which means if I can learn Java, I should be able to build games.
These games. Awesome.
Somehow, I didn't learn Java immediately.
Yeah.
So what I picked on, I use like these sites, Instructables. So anyone can check out Instructables. Yes. So I use Instructables to learn this language called Bash. So Bash is like the programming language that comes automatically with Windows systems. So you can write like scripts that can do stuff. And you can really do some cool things with Bash. So I started by building. Then I had this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game on my PC. But the PC was gifted to me by a neighbor. Shout out to my neighbor.
Shout out.
Yeah. So he gave me the PC and I had like this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game. So the first idea that came to my mind was, how can I recreate this quiz game using this Bash programming language? And I just went to Instructables and I typed how to build a trivia game using Bash. So
it came up and
it came up.
There we go.
It's not like I even understood what I was writing, but I was just typing it like word for word.
That's it.
So over time, I got familiar with like the language because programming is just like a language. Like the more you write it, the more familiar you get with it.
Absolutely.
So
so delve us deeper into, of course, the crux of why you're here. You developed an app that does what exactly? So introduce it properly.
Okay, so I developed this app called like a plagiarism checker. So a friend of mine, we decided to call it Mole. But Mole.
M-O-L-E.
M-O-L. So in Yoruba is like Mole, which is not like.
And so Mole means what?
Catch a thief.
Mole.
It's like catch a thief. That's yeah, well, like that's not a good word though. We'll probably change it.
It's not a good word.
It's not a good word. So what the plagiarism, like the motivation for the plagiarism checker was, I was having this chat with a friend of mine that is outside the country, currently studying at Russia. Russia.
Yeah.
So and then it was like, whenever they have programming assessments to do, they have this software that they use in their school to check if the students actually like copied each other.
Yeah.
Or copied one another. And I like, as he said that, it occurred to me that okay, whenever we do like our own assignments in our own school, we don't have something like that. Yeah. And to be honest, we actually do copy like one another.
Copy and paraphrase.
Yeah.
Some people copy and copy dumbly.
Yeah. So, and the thing with programming is that that we have things called variables and functions. So what people just do is like they change the function names and they change the variable names. So I was like, can I recreate like what they have at Stanford University in our own university as well?
Okay.
But to be fair enough, the software was actually like open source. Is MOS.
Okay.
Like MOS, MOSS, like measure of software similarity. Okay. So what I did was, okay, I just challenged myself that let me just try to recreate this MOS, at least for fair. Let me just recreate it for the fun of recreating what Harvard professors have created. Then I searched for the research paper. So it's available online. You can just search for MOS research paper. I downloaded the research paper, and I read the main parts. Basically, you just have to like read like the introduction, the abstracts. They give you the summary of like what the software is about. And then I read like the methodology, and I figured out that they have like this algorithm called winnowing. Okay. So what that winnowing does is it fingerprints a document. So in essence, in high level for a layman, what this plagiarism checker does is it tries to create like a fingerprint for a document. So imagine
like a watermark, like blockchain. Like what exactly? So break that fingerprint down.
Imagine like just the same way our fingerprints identify like like we are all identified by our fingerprints. Yes. And then my fingerprints would not be your fingerprints. Like someone would have to like copy your fingerprints before they can access anything that is like that uses like your fingerprints to be accessed.
True that.
So how do we now bring that to the world of like how do we bring that to the digital world that our documents too can have fingerprints?
Awesome.
But the only difference is that based on like how we do the mathematics, two documents that are exactly the same thing should have the same fingerprints. Which means like if this document has like fingerprints 1, 2, 3, and this document after doing the whole computation has 1, 2, 3, it means they are the same thing. But if their contents are actually like different based on the mathematics, the fingerprints should be different. So we can now check how close these fingerprints are to each other. Then we can tell that okay, this particular document is this percentage close to this other document. That way we can tell that okay, this document is a copy of this other document.
So do you then expect that I submit a document or whatever for me to then go on the app and ensure that the app has recorded it as my genuine document, right? I don't know if that's what it does. And so that the app then begins to help to check, you know, any other person that has something like that online.
Exactly. Like it could work that way. Like really like it's almost like you're also a programmer already. I didn't think like a programmer. It could work that way. Fine. It means what you're saying is like the sense of like you already having like a database of documents.
Yes, that kind of thing. So how does it do that online check if that's not the case?
So but currently now what we do is like if you remember I said like what we built for is for assessments. Whenever students submit their assessment.
Oh, students based.
Yes.
Not research.
Yes.
Not like students. Okay.
So currently now the feature we have, the feature that the app has is that the students will upload all of their documents. Like I'll submit my assignments, my friend will submit his assignments, probably you to submit your assignments.
Okay.
Everybody submit their assignments, and then the document automatically just tells the lecturer, okay, this particular person's submission is this percentage close to this person's submission. So
who can then how so you say if the elephants are suffering the grasses, if the elephants are fighting the grasses and suffer. So now the original person, right? I don't know who was magnanimous enough to, you know, to share his idea or knowledge. So how will he get exonerated for that? And how will the assignment or all the documents, you know, the original, the original owner, writer, or or it just checks whether you all copied each other.
Yeah.
But if the questions are the same, how won't it look like you all copied each other? Not like questions are different.
Okay. So let's say, for example, you give like students to write about like, let's say an essay, for example.
Yes.
Write about like how you spent your holiday.
Okay.
Like it's an open-ended essay that you don't expect people to have like so close and like essays. Which also boils down to the fact that whenever you're running plagiarism, there's a percentage that is allowed. Because to be honest,
exactly.
there's a percentage that is allowed. right? Because we are doing mathematics. So in some cases, you can have like 2 documents that are not related at all. Like you get 0%. While in some cases, you get something like 20%.
So what's the allowable?
So that depends on like, it depends on on the instructor. So the instructor would have to be able to set like what is allowed.
Okay.
So,
interesting. So what are your last words for people who are aspiring to be, not of course to create your kind of application and to be into tech?
I think the first thing is don't follow the buzz. Like don't follow like I think it's good to get into tech. I meant to say like don't get into tech because of like the money. Like
I get that.
I think there's always that one that when you get into tech, you start
making money.
You start making 1 million naira in like 6 months. I'm sorry to say that is a lie. It's just a lie. So I think see it as you equipping yourself as having like a tool that's an extension of you.
That's right.
To solve human problem.
That's right.
So and also start wherever you can start from. So if you can start by using your phone to learn, like don't let like your current situation deter you from like starting. And particularly to end it, find communities. Communities will actually like help you grow a lot.
Okay. It's been a very lovely time with you on set. Thank you for all the insights and for what you've done so far. This is still the Pioneer STEM Show, and we'll be right back. Wow. We've had it double portion on today's show, right? What do you think, David?
That was incredibly insightful.
Yeah.
To learn about how you could build add-ons to an app already. That's Telegram. It's beautiful. And then the machine learning aspect as well. I've learned so much.
That's right. And I'm sure our viewers also have learned. And remember, if you want to be a guest
on this show, yes. Do well to reach out to us on our social media. We would love to host you.
Absolutely. So these people reached out on social media and now they are guests on the show. Well, it's so sad to leave you at this point when the energy is already so high. But because of time, we hope to see you same time next week, same station. Bye for now.